I changed my name.
All right, welcome everyone. So far, we're just gonna give them another minute here to see if we get any more coming in. And we'll get started with the squad 5, 6, 7 parent meeting. All right, I won't keep you guys waiting anymore, so we'll get going on this. Thanks for joining us this evening. Just gonna go over, should be maybe about 20, 25 minutes. We're just going to go over a little bit about sort of the goals for squads 5 to 7. We'll go over just a little bit of what to expect as parents. We'll do a little bit on the website review, and that should be about it. And if there's any questions after that, feel free to type them in. So just going to start off squad 5, 6, 7. So we have we're about 50 kids in those three groups this year. So pretty robust registration for those groups, which is good to see. These are sort of our gateway into competitive swimming groups in the athlete development model. It's sort of in the learning to train category. So they're starting to put some of the skills they've learned in our development groups, starting to apply them in training atmospheres into sets, and starting to swim with a little bit more purpose. So our goal on that is still in these groups, it's still pretty rudimentary development stuff, but they are starting to learn skills, starting to use some different equipment, and starting to really know why they're doing things instead of just following keywords. So that's sort of where we're going on the teaching end of these groups. For these groups competitively, so most of the practices for these guys are sort of in the 50 to 60-minute range. They're going 2 to 3 times a week. Squad 5s with their weekend are adding into that 4th practice a week. So for the squad 5s, it's getting into the stage where we could start really progressing and keeping in the water more days than they're out of the water, which is sort of the goal in the sport as far as muscle memory goes, is to keep those muscles firing and repeating those motions as much as we can. Competitively for these guys, we're going to go over the meet schedule for them. So the squad 7 sort of first meets a mini meet, but then after that, these guys are starting to really go around these regional meets. So we try to host as many as we can locally, but we will be doing the trips to Nanaimo, the trips to Campbell River, and the trips to Duncan. And for some of the kids over the course of the year, there might be a trip to Victoria or two, depending on the meet and usually those ones are going to be level of swimmer versus just everyone's invited. So we'll look at that a little bit as we go through the meeting tonight. Just going to go to a share screen. To our website here. So I'm gonna move over to our meets and event schedule, and making sure there's no one in the waiting room. We're over here. So for the squad 5, 6, 7s, you've started getting a couple emails so far. For the squad 5, 6s, our first Saturday is this weekend. So you should have got an email regarding that. We're doing a special team practice. So the first 2 Saturdays are going to be team practices. So on this Saturday, we're all at the pool at 6:45, and we're going to do sort of a mock-up of our timing equipment just to make sure everything's in working order for our competition later this month. So we're just going to get in as a team. We'll get in for a warm-up. The kids will do a few fun races, and we'll have a snack and drink for them at the end of the session. So that will be 6:45 until 9 this Saturday. And then the following Saturday, you got an email regarding our awards banquet. So that's our celebration of everything that happened last season, recognizing our top swimmers and most improved swimmers, right from our 8 and unders up to our senior athletes. So it's sort of a fun event for the kids, get to sort of see some recognition of what the other kids have been doing, and see who's been excelling and improving and stuff like that. So what we're going to do that weekend is everyone's going to come from 7 to 9. We're going to do a team practice. We'll do some relays. We'll do some peer coaching and stuff like that. After the practice at 9, we will have a pancake breakfast for all the kids from 9 to 9:30, and then we'll walk over to the Stan Hagen Theater at NIC campus, and we'll get organized in that sometime around 10 o'clock or so. Parents are more than welcome or encouraged to come as well. And we'll do the award ceremony from 10 to whenever that wraps up, sometime between 11 and 11:30, and then we are done for the day. So we did ask the squad 5s and 6s to sign up for that, just so we know numbers for food and pancakes for everyone, and we can be ready for that. If you wanted to come and help out with getting the breakfast organized, we have a job set up for the parents on that as well. For our swim meet coming up, so again, this will be the squad 5s and 6s. You'll get an email about that tomorrow. And so that's just Saturday afternoon on the 19th. So it's just sort of a 1:30 warm up, I think. And just a few hours after for racing after that, just sort of an easy get going first meet of the season. So the sign up for that is open. You'll get an email about that. Same with the volunteering, that is up and ready to go. And you'll get an email about that, and we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. For the squad 7s, after that, older guys swim on the 19th. On the Tuesday, we have a mini meet for the squad 7, 8s, and 9. So that'll be their first time off the block for those groups. So both the Monday, Wednesday, and the Tuesday, Thursday groups are all invited to come out for that. That will be basically 3:30 to 5:30 or 6, depending on the numbers. For that event, that email and sign up should be up. If not tomorrow, this weekend, we'll get that information out to you guys. And after that, for the squad 7s, they all sort of progress into the regional meets after that. And we start introducing the mini sharks into the mini meets after that first weekend. So moving down the schedule, the week after our little meet is our first sort of multi-session meet. Again, that's for the squads 5s and 6s. So down to Nanaimo, that is a 3-session meet. It goes Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday morning. If you can make all 3 sessions, is sort of our best case scenario, gives them a chance to swim lots of different events. If you can only make 2 sessions or whatever your restrictions might be, you just need to let us know when you sign up. And if we get the event file, you'll be able to sign up by session. If we don't have the event file, it'll just sort of be a general yes, and you'll have to write in the notes that you can only be there for the specific sessions. That sign up will also be up if not tomorrow, this weekend, and you'll get an email about that this weekend. So those are our October events. We'll go through all the fall events here. So in November, again, we have a short little meet Saturday afternoon. So this will be squads 1 to 7. The exact format of this, we're not sure yet. We have a big group from Richmond coming over to visit us that weekend. And I'm just seeing what other interest we have from other clubs to come visit us. So the format of that meet is sort of in flux right now, once I just sort of find out what level we're bringing. But as of now, it'll be all the squad 1 to 7s invited. The weekend after that will be, and this weekend of our meet might be sort of just a little bit unconventional how we do. We might sort of do it as sort of a more of a team thing or sort of like a dual meet type event, but we'll see. I'm still working out that. The weekend after that in Campbell River is sort of our meet focusing for our squad 5, 6, and 7. So this is our squad 5, 6, 7 focus meet. Those are the groups that will be invited. The squad 1 to 4s are down in Victoria earlier that month. So there might be a couple that come down, or for kids that might not made it down to Victoria that wouldn't be invited in, but this is our meet for the squad 5, 6, and 7s. Historically, this meet will be Saturday afternoon and then Sunday morning. Once we get that meet package, we'll get that information out to you. But historically, it's been a Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, 2 sessions. And it's a good little meet. The pool's sometimes a little bit squishy, but for the level, it's a great meet for those kids at that level to be introduced to regional competitions. And then moving on to December. So it's only 2 weeks. I think the Duncan meet has moved to the following weekend. So it says the 7th. I have to check my emails. I may have got an email like yesterday saying it had to be moved to the 14th. So I will get that corrected into you as soon as I confirm it. So this meet for us, we just go down for the 1 day. It's usually a 2-day meet, but just for ease, we make it a 1-day meet. We've made this a team travel meet, so it's a super fun meet for the kids. If your kids haven't been down yet, we'll rent a bus. Pick them up. We'll pick them up at usually the sports center Saturday morning. Pick them up. We'll bus all the kids down to Duncan. We'll race the day, have some pizza, drink for them at the end of the session, get on the bus and get back Saturday night. So I'll get the date confirmed. That information will get out to you, and sort of plan on that as being a team trip. And then we usually, if there's a few parents that want to come around as chaperones and just sort of help with any issues that may arise. Hopefully no issues arrive, but they'd sort of be in charge of making sure the pizza gets served to the kids and stuff like that. So usually we take a few parents down with the bus load for that meet. So that will be, let's say it's December 14th, because I think it was moved a week back. And that's sort of the meet schedule for the squad 5, 6, 7s through to the Christmas break. Last week before we break, we'll have a red and blue meet. So that'll be the same as what we've done in the past. If you've made it, again, a full team event, get all the kids together, get the older kids working with the younger kids. We'll do some relays and have some fun, and have some prizes and food for the kids on that Tuesday afternoon. And that takes us through to the break. We have a few things, a lot of unconfirmed meets in the new year, but coming off the break, we'll be back down to Campbell River again. This is just a 1-day meet on the Saturday in Campbell River. Again, that will be more of a focus meet for the squad 5 to 7s. And then following that, some of these kids will start being introduced. You'll start to get information about it probably in early December. Our first introduction, sort of a championship type meet, or a meet you just have to qualify for, is the VIR championships. And this is a meet sort of focused as sort of an entry level, let's say, important meet for the kids. And so for our 10 and unders in squad 5, 6, and 7, attending this meet will probably be something they'll be chasing. That this time standard for the 10 and unders is pretty inclusive. And so for the 10 and unders in squad 5, 6, 7, so if you're 10 that last weekend of January, first weekend of February, you'll probably, your coach will be starting to introduce the kids to some of those goals and striving to get to that meet. So for kids that maybe already qualified for, you might not go to that Campbell River meet on the 18th. You might just do the VIR meet in Duncan on that weekend of January. And more information for you new parents into this realm of multi-day meets. We'll get you lots of information probably early or late November to start getting you ready for this and educating on that process. For the 10 and unders, it's usually just a 2-day meet. It's not a 3-day meet. So you'll probably come down early Saturday morning. They'll race Saturday, stay overnight Saturday, race Sunday morning, and then you're home Sunday afternoon. So we'll get, once that meet package is confirmed, we'll get you guys as up to speed as possible on that. But that's sort of a meet there. For the 11 and 12-year-olds, it's not out of the realm of possibility. We did have some older, some 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds in squads 5 and 6 make it to meet. It's definitely a harder standard to get to for the 11 and 12s, but like I said, we'll get the kids up to speed if they're looking to work towards that meet. Then following that, nothing super confirmed for the squad 5, 6, 7s. We have a meet in February that you'll all be invited to. That's a 1-day meet on Saturday, February 8th. It's a really fun meet we have for all level of kids, where they just do some 50s and 100 IMs, and it's lots of little challenges involved in that. If none of your guys have probably done it, we did it a few years ago, and it was a big hit right across the island for all the kids that came up. More information on that will go out probably not till the new year in that or December. Then going forward, March, April, May, June, there'll be another trip to Duncan. There'll be another trip to Nanaimo. In May, we have our big 12 and under jamboree, which will be sort of our big meet of the year for the squad 5 to 7s. There's another VIR championship meet in June, and that sort of wraps up our year. So those, once we get dates confirmed from clubs, those will get populated up onto the website as well. But we'll get those up with plenty of time for you to think about it. And then for the end of the year, our squad 5s do have the option to swim through the month of July. And then there's a meet down in Victoria the last weekend of July. So last year we had a few squad 5s decide to swim right through the month of July. So that is an option for the squad 5s if you're everyone sort of goes till that last week of June. But if you do want to opt in for another month, that is an option for the squad 5s. All right, so that sort of takes us through our events for the year for these guys. Hopefully that all made sense. Next thing we're going to look at on here is we're going to look at the calendar. So you should have got notices about the Google Calendar we're using. If you haven't downloaded that yet, if you go onto the website in the program info on squad calendars, click on that, and we have all the different calendars for all the groups. So it's just a matter of finding your squad, picking that, and choosing add. So I highly recommend that. We're going to try to use this as our main source of getting information out to you, getting events updated, any cancellations, changes that might happen. So the one thing we do, if you do want to be as up to date as you can, from our end, we're set up on our system to send emails out to everyone if there are any changes. So if a new event gets added to the calendar, an email will go out. For it to work, though, you also at your end need to have it to accept the email. So if you go onto the calendar and into the settings, there'll be an option and the other notifications, and at least on my computer, everything is defaulted to no notifications. And you would just want to change, if you want to be notified any new events, click on yes to email. If there's changes to something, click yes for an email. If there's a cancellation that happens, click yes to the email. So if you do that on your end, you'll get that email notification if anything happens to the calendar. If you keep that off, it'll just sort of be, the calendar will change. You just won't get the preemptive notification about it. If you don't use Google Calendar, but you do use a calendar, if it's Outlook or just on your phone or whatever it might be, we can send the ICS. The ICS file should work with any type of calendar. So feel free to send us an email. Jason can get you a copy of the relevant calendar that you need. Let's get out of this. Next thing, I'm not going to go over the website too much. You guys should be pretty affluent on moving selves around on this. So accept, decline. We do ask, if you can't do an event, please still go in and decline, just so we know your intentions and we're not guessing, especially at these meets where entries are a pretty hard deadline. The mini meets, it's always easy to change things on the fly. For these meets, where the entry deadline might be 1 or 2 weeks before the event, it's a pretty hard deadline. So if we do know what your intentions are, it makes it way easier. When we have to do those entries, we don't want to have to guess on what your intentions are. Just a reminder, if anything changes on your account, click on your email at the top right, click on my account. That's where in my profile, any contact email information could change. You could look at credit card information, can be adjusted on your payment methods. You could look at your fundraising activities, which gets updated usually every few months, so it's not updated in real time. The job credits, we try to keep updated a little bit more thoroughly. Billing is going to be all your past invoices. So if you want a line item breakdown, go into the billing section. And now that your kids have maybe a few more meets under their belt, you could, in the member section, you can go in there and it should have a listing of all their best times. It sort of graphs their improvement. You can choose different strokes, different distances, and the kids can sort of follow along where they're at. I mentioned the VIRs. If you go in here, it's going to show you time standards. So if they maybe get their VIR time, you'll get a little green box and it'll say you have qualified for the meet. So that's a little way to where the kids can check that out, or you can check that out. Nothing too much out. Parent information, we try to keep as all our policies, and we're just going to go over right now fundraising and parent participation, and then we will be done. So fundraising, exactly the same as last year. Nothing's been changed on the amounts. So fundraising is completely up to you guys, how much you want to do. The fundraising is there to help reduce the fees. So instead of increasing fees, we put the fundraising assessment there. Gives you opportunity to pay that money without cash, just through products you might use already. So the Panago and Gunters have already gone out. Panago first wave is sold out. We're just waiting for the next batch from Panago. Coupon books, we're probably almost 2/3 of the way through all the coupon books. So if you do want to get coupon books, you can get those orders in. Christmas flowers, poinsettias should be going out probably, I don't know when that goes out, early November. And then our flower sale in the spring, and then our swimathon in the spring as well. I'm not going to go too much into that. You guys should all be pretty aware of those things by now. And then it's not you, this is you. So the last thing we're going to go through is just a little bit on parental end of squad 5 to 7. So as the kids progress through their levels as well, we're also hoping the parents also are progressing with their involvement and knowledge of the sport at the at the volunteering end of things. So again, your main role as a parent is just to support your swimmer, make it fun for them, keep encouraging them, let the coach do the work, and supporting the club. But now at this level, we're also looking for you to experience a few different things at the swim meet. So you may have been doing the timing job since your kid was in mini sharks. We do ask that you do try to maybe diversify that. Everyone sort of finds their niche at some point, but it's the best way to find that niche is just to experience a few different jobs. So in the squad 3-4 talk, my talk was them. It's now their job to start mentoring the squad 5-7 parents as they start experiencing new jobs. So we do try to match. If you do try something new, you're never going to be on your own. We're going to we'll pair you up. We'll pair the least experienced person up with the most experienced person, usually at every meet. You're going to get an email probably tomorrow. We're going to have a stroke and turn clinic, which goes over sort of the next level job after timing is being the person that either sits at the end of the pool and make sure the kids are touching the wall properly, or the person that goes by the side of the pool to make sure that they're doing the proper kicking and stroke mechanics of the swim. So we're going to be offering, we just do it through Zoom. It's about a hour, 15-minute clinic. So if you haven't taken it before, we do want every squad 5-7, at least one of the parents to take the clinic. And then from there, giving you an opportunity to either shadow, where you can just come for a session and just sort of stand next to a person, or take a role and work beside a person, and you could actually have a lane. So we'll smooth you into the job as easily as possible. But that will go out next week. So we might try to run 2 of them, one next week and one the following week, just to give you guys lots of opportunities to sit in on that course. And Heather, our sort of in-house referee, will be running one of them. And Lisa Woolwork, whose kid is now graduated out of the program, but is still coming out to meets and volunteering for the club, which we greatly appreciate from one of our graduating swimmers. And she's going to come out to the meets and provide some mentoring for the parents and run some clinics for us as well. And then the other options from Stroke and Turn is there are other duties we have. If you don't mind standing in front of a laptop, we have a few desk jobs that are pretty simple to do once you sit down with them. So if you're looking for something where you don't have to be getting wet or standing on your feet all day, feel free to talk to me or one of our senior officials. Caroline Pellerin is happy to talk you through any of the jobs. If you see her on deck, she's going to start searching out you guys a little bit. And just like I said, and just being ready to come forward if needed. We have lots of parents in the club. We don't do a whole lot of meets, so hopefully we're never desperate for officials. But like I said, the more we can sort of spread it out, and if we can get everyone coming out a little bit, it sort of saves those having to rely on sort of that one parent to come out for every session of every swim meet. Last year we had parents coming out who at every meet, if they had kids or not at it, and it's appreciative, but it's not ideal. We'd like sort of, if everyone shares the load a little bit, it makes it a little bit easier. So that's sort of my spiel on that. We haven't got too much organized on, like I said, we're gonna get the clinic stuff out, but we'll start getting you more information on the process of getting yourself educated at the officiating end. And if it's something that intrigues you, please feel free to come forward and let us know. We're always looking for people that like I said, we definitely get the parents that are doing it because they don't really want to, but they help out the club, which is great. But we also get the parents who just really enjoy that element of the swim meet. So if you're one of those people, make yourself known, please, and we can keep you busy. So I think that is calendar, pretty much everything I have for you guys tonight. If there's any questions out there, feel free to type them in. And if not, thanks a lot for joining in. It's been a good start to the year so far. Kristen and me have enjoyed coaching these groups. So we're looking forward to this year with them. And thank you very much. All right. Looks like no questions. Have a great night.